How do you find the degree of a term? You take the sum of the exponents of the variables contained in that term. So for example, if you have a term negative 2x squared y, then the sum of the exponents on the variables, you've got variable x, that's 2, and variable y, there's no exponent there, so that's a 1. So the degree of this term would be 2 plus 1, which is 3. If you have a constant term, the degree is 0. Our constant term that we talked about before, 7, it does not have any variable factors. So the exponent of any variables, let's say I added a variable, the exponent can only be 0. What's x to the 0? That's 1. Any base to the 0th power. So that's how you can see that the degree of any constant term is 0. How do you find the degree of a polynomial? Well, you find the degree of each term in the polynomial and you take the highest or largest degree of any of those terms. Let's state the type of polynomial and the degree of the polynomial. So our first example, to find the type, we need to know how many terms there are. Well, there is one subtraction symbol, so that separates the two terms in the polynomial. 2 terms makes this a binomial. So then I need to figure out what is the degree of the polynomial. So I find the degree of each term. So the first term, there's a lot of variables here, so let me add the exponents of the variables. X to the 3rd, we've got y to the 2nd, and z to the 1st. So 3 plus 2 plus 1, that's a degree of 6. So the degree of the second term, there's only one variable, and it doesn't have an exponent, so that makes it a 1. Then I take the highest degree of any term. So what's a bigger number, 6 or 1? 6 is a bigger number, so this is a 6th degree binomial. Our second example, we have a subtraction symbol and an addition symbol. So that separates the terms here, making that 3 terms in this polynomial. So that is a trinomial. Then I need to find the degree of all 3 terms so I can figure out which one is the highest number. So the first term, s to the 5th and t to the 2nd. So if I add 5 plus 2, that's a degree 7 for that term. The middle term, s to the 4th and t to the 1, because it doesn't have an exponent. 4 plus 1 is 5 for that term. The third term, s to the 1 and t to the 1, 1 plus 1, that's a degree 2 term. So the highest degree of any term, 7, 5, or 2, 7 is the highest degree term, making this a 7th degree trinomial. Our third example, there's no addition or subtraction, so there's a single term, and a single term is a monomial. And the degree of that term, well, there are no variables, so the degree of the variables, well, there is none. It's 0.